All right, folks, it looks like we are live on this Saturday afternoon. Welcome, everyone. And we are tracking lots of snow across the St. Louis area as well as many other parts of the country. Lots of wintry weather going on with this winter storm that is plowing its way across the southern United States and even having some impacts up in the Midwest as well. Very, very, very cold Arctic temperatures. In some cases, we're talking about wind chills below 50 degrees below zero. Okay, so parts of the continental United States experiencing that. And of course, we are looking at lots of snow coming down across places like St. Louis as far as the domain will go from the radar up there in Weldon Spring. Okay, you see all of that snow coming down on the radar. And so I want to track this out because this is not just a few hour event. This is going to be a multi-day event. So this is the latest run from the HRRR model. Okay, so this is what we are looking at right now. Okay, this is pretty much the picture. You see lots of snow up here in the blue, stretching from parts of Missouri down through southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and even into Kentucky and Tennessee, getting all the way down towards places like Memphis and Nashville and into the Great Smoky Mountains. Okay, and it even extends back into parts of the Southern Plains, including parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, and North Texas, even extending all the way back into New Mexico. So there's a very wide swath, okay, a very wide swath of winter precip, frozen precipitation. In addition to snow, you also see parts of these areas covered in purple and pinks. Okay, that's of course referring to sort of that transition zone, right? That transition precip, that freezing rain, that sleet. Okay, so very icy conditions for many folks across parts of the South with this system. So right now the system is still starting to get going, but as it progresses, okay, we're going to see the it start to evolve here, and we're going to see this precip coverage become a lot more widespread. Okay, so this is 11 p.m. tonight Central Time. Okay, Central Standard Time. This is 11 p.m. tonight. You see all this snow all the way from off the East Coast all the way back here into Arizona. Okay, you see all this wide swath of snow. Okay, so that's just going to be piling up for places like St. Louis, for other places in the Midwest that are just continuing to be impacted by this. And you may even see it get a little bit heavier. You see some of these darker blues on the model. That's indicating some heavier snow perhaps coming in. So even if it's not very heavy out there right now, it may pick up a little bit as we go through the evening hours and into the day tomorrow. Okay. In addition to that, we're also going to be seeing rain on the wet side of this winter storm down here, especially down here in Mobile where our office is located. Okay, we could even have a little bit of severe weather. Okay, we may even have a little bit of severe weather as these storms roll through. There's going to be enough warmth and moisture and instability ahead of this cold front, okay, that we may actually see some severe weather down here. So we have to be on the lookout for that, especially tomorrow morning. So you see this little batch of rain, perhaps heavy at times, move through late tonight down here on the Gulf Coast, especially in a place like Mobile. Okay, you see that run through, as well as you see icy conditions plaguing much of, not as far south, we'll just say, parts of the Tennessee Valley going back into some other southern states, right? You've got southern Kentucky, northern Tennessee, even parts of northern Mississippi, northern Alabama in that zone, right? Even going back into Arkansas, pretty much the entire state covered by that freezing rain and sleet, right? And even parts of northern Louisiana and a lot of the state of Texas, okay? A lot of the state of Texas. And, this is going to be a huge concern, right? Is we're going to see power lines coming down. We're going to see a lot of infrastructure that is not necessarily built for just this mass pileup of freezing rain. We're going to see a lot of infrastructure take a huge hit. So that's going to be a very, very, very big concern. Now's a good time if you're in a lot of these areas. Okay, go ahead and turn your refrigerators down a little bit, turn them to a little bit colder settings. That way, if you do lose power through the night, your stuff will stay good for a little bit longer. And of course, I will shamelessly plug our I will shamelessly plug our sponsor, right? MyPatriotSupply. Go ahead and get you some survival kits, right? Go ahead and get you some. You can get you a grid doctor. Link for all of that is down in the description below. Okay, you can check out the links down in the description of the stream, and those, of course, are great for surviving this kind of thing. You can get a generator. You can get all sorts of meal kits that will help you to stay fed during a mass power outage. Okay. Now it won't help you as much right now because it's not going to get to you in time, but for future events like this, as they are inevitable, okay, something like that could help you out a lot. So make sure that you check that out in the description. Of course, there are other links as well that you can go shopping, do your normal shopping, and help us out. So all that aside, so we're going to be seeing a very widespread winter weather event as well as a severe weather event down in the deep south. Okay, so as we go through the day tomorrow, right, you see sort of this. So you saw those showers rolling through, especially in our area late tonight, right? And then now that second round of it comes through, and this is the round that's probably going to be most severe. When you see this linear feature developed, keep in mind this is 18Z. Okay, so this is about noon, right, tomorrow. So about the time most folks are getting out of church, or of course, maybe just out and about doing some shopping and things. Okay, we're going to see some very severe weather rolling through, and some of these thunderstorms could be very fiery. And something else I want to mention, this is a very, very, very important point that I want to make. Okay, so if we go back a step in time, so this is 11 a.m. tomorrow, and I just want to take a forecast sounding over Mobile, and because I want to show you guys something. So you see on there, you can see way down at the bottom. I don't know if you guys actually can see this, but the temperature down here, that says, in case you can't read it, that is 71 degrees Fahrenheit over Mobile. Okay, and that is 11 a.m. Central Time tomorrow. Now, fast forward just 1 hour. All right, fast forward just 1 hour. That temperature has now plunged 19 degrees in just 1 hour as that front comes through and that cold air advection really kicks in. Okay, that gusty northwesterly wind bringing all that polar air down. Okay, literally in just 1 hour between 11 and 12 o'clock tomorrow, middle of the day. Okay, middle of the day, temperature plummets almost 20 degrees. So it is very, very, very important that you dress accordingly, especially going to church tomorrow, going out and about doing other things. Okay, between about 11 and 12 tomorrow, that temperature is going to plunge in the middle of the day. Okay, and it's suddenly going to go from warm, moist, almost borderline, hot, right, to all of a sudden this line of storms comes through and that temperature just plunges, right, and that gusty northerly wind kicks in and starts really, really dropping those temperatures quickly. Okay, so that's noon. Go forward in time a little bit. That temperature continues to plunge. Okay, this is 6 o'clock. We're already down into the 40s. And then, of course, by the time we get to about midnight, okay, this is midnight, you can see we're already down to about the freezing mark, okay, here on the Gulf Coast. So very, very important that you prepare accordingly for that. Okay, we are going to be experiencing about a 50-degree temperature swing tomorrow. Okay, and that's going to occur between like I said, about 11 a.m. when that line of storms comes through, which again could be severe as that polar air interacts with this very warm, moist air mass ahead of it. Okay, such a stark temperature contrast. There's a lot that can happen there. A lot of fiery storms can develop. Okay, but also in addition to that, make sure that you know that those temperatures are going to be plunging after that rolls through, and right after that rolls through without much warning. Okay, literally, like I said, within an hour tomorrow, you're going to see those temperatures plunge by like 20 degrees across the Gulf Coast. Okay, and that's going to be the middle of the day. I'm not talking about at night when you expect the temperatures to fall. This is the middle of the day. Okay, while the sun is shining, or well, probably sun won't be shining because these storms will be rolling through, but it will be daylight and the temperature will be plunging. Okay, as that northwesterly wind, that brisk northwesterly wind kicks in and just drives that cold air down. Okay, so be very, very make sure that you are prepared for that. That's very, very important. So, and you can see, right, that temperature ends up, according to the HRRR, by the time we get to, let's say, I'm trying to get to, so this is 7 a.m., or excuse me, this is 6 a.m., I'm sorry, 6 a.m. local time here in Mobile. Okay, and that's of course 7 a.m. Right there, the HRRR forecasting a low temperature of about 31 degrees Fahrenheit. Now there are some projections, and I think those are a little bit more accurate than this one, maybe, in terms of how low the temperature will get. Probably looking at around low to mid 20s. Okay, probably looking at a low around 23 to 25. And again, depending on exactly where you are in the metro, but of course, places like Dauphin Island are going to stay a little warmer. Places especially north and west of downtown Mobile are going to get a little bit colder, but generally speaking, we're going to be waking up across the board down here in the mid 20s, and that's going to be Monday morning. We're going to be waking up in the mid 20s, and it's very important, of course, if you don't have insulated pipes, make sure you leave your water running, leave your cabinet doors open, all the song and dance there. Okay, but it's very, very important that you be prepared for that. That's the main thing tomorrow across the Gulf Coast, is temperatures will be plummeting. When you see those storm clouds building, keep in mind, when that rain hits, it's a 20-degree temperature drop in the middle of the day. Okay, and it's going to feel much colder. The air temperature is going to be plummeting down to about 52 degrees or so here in Mobile by noon. But keep in mind, you're also going to have a very gusty, perhaps about 20 to 30 mile per hour, very cold wind coming in behind it too. So in addition to the temperature being 52, that very, very brisk wind is going to be kicking in. It's going to be a very cold wind. Okay, it's going to be bringing in Arctic air with it. Okay, so the feels like temperature is probably going to be more down in the 40s or perhaps even 30s. Okay, so just be prepared for that. That suddenly the feels like temperature is going to go from maybe upper 70s, maybe even 80, depending on the humidity level, and it's going to go from that to about 40 in a matter of an hour. So just be prepared for that tomorrow across the Gulf Coast. In addition to, of course, if you live in places farther north, just be prepared for, especially in this icy belt over here, make sure that you are prepared for widespread power outages, because those will be a very, very, very big concern as that freezing rain piles up on those power lines. It's going to be dropping them down, especially a lot of these areas, again, are not really built for this sort of thing. It doesn't happen a whole lot, so just be prepared for that. That is going to be a very big concern, probably the biggest concern, in addition to just, make sure that you don't get out and about, especially freezing rain. All it takes is a few hundredths, let alone the amount that we are projecting for this area as meteorologists. Okay, it only takes a few hundredths for you to slide off the road. So make sure that you are just staying put. And again, go ahead and turn those refrigerators down to their coldest temperatures, or at least to a colder setting than they are on now, so that your food can stay colder should your power go out, especially in these areas that are going to be dealing with a lot of freezing rain. So that's pretty much the wrap. And again, you see that snow, it's still falling. Okay, that's another point too. For places like St. Louis, it's starting now. It continues through the night without really any break. Okay, and it's still falling tomorrow morning. This is almost noon. This is 11 a.m. on Sunday. Okay, 11 a.m. tomorrow. It's still falling, right? It's still falling even as we go through the afternoon hours. Not until about 6 o'clock in the evening tomorrow does that snow finally end in a place like St. Louis. Okay, so it just continues on. It's going to be heaviest tonight, and it's going to be piling up. So make sure that you are aware of that even though it's not very heavy right now in a lot of places, that's going to be changing, and it's going to be piling up. So just be prepared out there. Again, stay off the roads this weekend if you can in a lot of these areas. And again, for those of you on the Gulf Coast, make sure if you are headed out the door to church tomorrow, or just outdoor plans in general, make sure that you dress accordingly, because things will be rapidly changing around lunchtime. And with that being said, that is it. Thank you all for tuning in to the Red Weatherman YouTube channel. Again, we do our best to keep you up to date here. And of course, if you enjoyed the stream, make sure that you like, subscribe, follow me on Rumble. You can also follow and like my Facebook pages, both the James's Weather Forecasts Facebook page as well as the Gulf of America Weather Research Center Facebook page. We are just now starting that up. That's going to be a major research facility down here. And we also have a Facebook page. So make sure that you follow and like both of those. And again, make sure that you check out all the links down in the description. Okay, help us out. So with that, everyone, stay safe out there and stay warm. Okay, be prepared for all the different hazards, whatever it is in your area that I just went through. Okay, wherever you are on the map. Okay, make sure that you are aware of what hazards are possible and what you need to prepare for and what you need to do to be prepared for those things. So with that, everybody stay warm, stay safe, and we will see you all on the next video or stream.